After the worst performance of his career, getting benched and then being immediately put on the trade block, one of the biggest unknowns for the Warriors this season is starting small forward Andrew Wiggins. Will he be traded, or will Wiggins return to the squad in all-star form next season? Hey, what's happening, everyone? This is Swish Culture. Ever since the Warriors won the 2022 NBA championship with Wiggins as arguably their second best player, things have not been the same. His level of play has significantly fallen off, and he's taken many leave of absences from the team to take care of family issues. Most recently, he's been in the spotlight for canceling a trip to China. But even besides that, the team has been aggressively shopping him on the trade market. To find out what's going on with Wiggins and whether it's likely he gets traded or stays with the team, be sure to watch the whole video. Before that, however, be sure to like the video and subscribe to Swish Culture for the most analytical and entertaining NBA content on the planet. Now get ready. You're about to get It was only 2 years ago, Andrew Wiggins became one of the best players in the NBA. Actually, on top of that, he was an absolute sensation with a popularity that peaked after getting a huge endorsement from Bam Bam. Not this Bam Bam, this Bam Bam, the K-pop star. His stardom wouldn't stop there, however, after putting Luka Doncic on one of the most violent posters of the modern era. Something so vicious the referees tried everything they could to rewrite history and save Luka. While the call took the air out of the room, thankfully, justice prevailed as the dunk eventually counted and Luka's career went unfazed. Mission accomplished. Not only did Wiggins shatter the rim on Luka's head, he also shattered the bust label that plagued his career throughout Minnesota and into Golden State. Through most of the Western Conference and NBA Finals, two-way Wiggs lived up to his original draft slot as the number 1 overall pick, locking up Jason Tatum, making him irrelevant in the series, and posterizing the Celtics superstar as well for good measure. Behind the scenes, Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole had formed a new backbone of chemistry for the Golden State Warriors. The two had pushed and challenged each other to become better, and the results spoke for themselves. With their 4th championship and the rise of both Poole and Andrew Wiggins into stardom, the Warriors had a rebirth and began looking to extend the dynasty. Or so we thought. Before the team had a chance to build on their newfound talent, something would happen that would change the entire trajectory of Golden State's second run. Most of you likely know what happened next. Both Wiggins and Poole were about to get paid as extension talks loomed. It was by all accounts a good problem for the Warriors to have. Unfortunately, something happened in the locker room that would change the direction of the dynasty for the foreseeable future. What I'm talking about is the infamous locker room incident that occurred between Draymond Green and Jordan Poole. The locker room punch that left a sour taste when it went down, but the damage it did impacted not just Poole and Green, but the entirety of the rest of the team. Initially, it seemed this might have had an impact on Wiggins considering how close the two were, but considering the external circumstances floating around the internet regarding Wiggins' absences, it might not have had any measurable impact. We've covered in depth what happened with Wiggins every year since then, and despite missing more than half the season in 2023, Wiggins still produced at the same level when he was available. Prior to his absence, he was actually playing well. Even better than before, averaging 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists before leaving the team for what turned out to be a health scare on account of his dad. When Wiggins returned after his first absence, this is when the first notable change took place as Wiggins' offense took a hit. His assists, however, went up, showing that he was now deferring on offense, averaging only 14 points per game, down from 19, and 2.5 assists, up from 2. Maybe the summer break would give Wiggins enough time with the family to sort things out. One would think a 4-month break would give the former All-Star enough time to regroup and recapture what he did for the Warriors prior to the start of his family issues. It wouldn't be long, however, until it became abundantly clear that this was a serious problem that wouldn't get any better anytime soon. This past season, Wiggins' regression became evident. Wiggins' production fell in every metric, averaging less than 13 points, 4 rebounds, and just over 1 assist per game in 27 minutes, the first time in his career he's dipped below 30 minutes per game. So despite having the offseason and extended time with his family, Wiggins was unable to return to his prior form in the first half of the season. This led to Steve Kerr benching Wiggins for pods to slide and also underperforming Klay Thompson to the small forward position Obviously, this didn't help the team much considering Draymond was also missing games. Now, the last bit of data that we have on Wiggs' performance is the second half of the 2023-24 season. From January 1st through April 15th, Wiggins averaged a little under 14 points, almost 5 rebounds, and 2 assists on 47% shooting while knocking down 39% of his shot from the outside. To make this a bit easier to digest, I put his stats together in a chart as a function of each month of the last 2 NBA seasons to get some idea of Wiggins' progress. Notice anything interesting? A dip in Wiggins' performance seemed to directly coincide with the leave of absences which started in December of 2022. It honestly seemed like that was the worst of it for Wiggins, who struggled on the court during his recovery following that period. He finally hit bottom around the beginning of the 2023-24 season, but then seemed to start putting things back together for the second half of the season. That is, earlier this year. This information could be crucial for Golden State in the upcoming year as they try to figure out what to do with Wiggins. They aggressively shopped him during the middle of the season as we approached the trade deadline, and they did so again this offseason. The Warriors attempted to offload him in the Paul George trade, but Wiggins' value was so low that the Clippers didn't want him. As a matter of fact, no other team wanted him. The Warriors kept Wiggins out of the Paris Olympics and out of international competition, and it was thought that they did it with the intent to trade Wiggins. NBA rules stipulate that players can't be traded with injuries, and in order to protect their investment, the Warriors would have to make sure he is fully healthy. They're denying that, however, stating that Wiggins was kept out due to having ankle issues, which if you check the record, Wiggins missed a couple of games in April this past year due to those ankle issues, so that story checks out. With his ankle issues, Wiggins wasn't able to suit up for Team Canada. Surely Steve Kerr and Team USA had no ill intentions in lessening the competition. It didn't help that a few weeks after most of the trade talks died down, Andrew Wiggins ended up having another family emergency where he had to cancel plans to China. I know that brings up thoughts of Wiggins missing time in the past, yada yada yada, but this is the off-season, and the man is clearly dedicated to his family, and they obviously need him. The exact wording by Wiggins' manager and close friend Richard Clark stated, "Andrew won't be able to come to China in the next couple of days due to a family emergency. These days have been really rough and tough on Andrew and the family. This trip really meant a lot to us. His family's been excited for the past couple of months to go out there to see his fans, to see the culture, to see his team, to eat the food, just to have a great experience out there with you guys once again. Unexpected things happen, unforeseen circumstances that are out of our control that will postpone this trip for now." This issue of his absence doesn't really take a serious tone for me. However, the family emergency itself is very serious. This is basically a continuation, and the original scare was the worst of it for Wiggins. Right now, he's taking the time to be there until that option is no longer there for him, and at this point, I'm convinced it's his dad's health that's been causing him difficulty. That being said, it doesn't seem like this issue will have the same impact on him going forward. As such, I'm actually willing to bet the Warriors aren't so eager to trade Wiggins. Before this video, I was actually thinking the Warriors might be better off trading him. Boy, was I wrong. I'm here to tell you, despite popular belief, that trading Andrew Wiggins would be a big mistake. Not just a big mistake, one of colossal proportions, the most regrettable decision of the remainder of Stephen Curry's career. Now, I didn't even realize this until I started really diving into the data to notice the trends, but once I did, it became pretty obvious. Ever since the initial problem that started Wiggins' descent, if you study trends, you'll realize he's already been through it and has been getting better. As a matter of fact, for his last 10 games of last season, if you remove that one game where he only put up 4 points around the time he had ankle soreness, Wiggins averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. This is exactly where the Warriors would need Wiggins to be, and exactly where he was when he helped them win the championship. Had it not been for Klay Thompson going 0 for 10 against the Kings, the Warriors would have walked Sacramento in that elimination game. This is why I've harped on the addition by subtraction. Klay Thompson hurt this team too much in his role as a starter and had been hurting the team ever since he came back from injury. This exacerbated some of the issues people pointed out with Wiggins, and when he was benched, he really was just a scapegoat for Klay Thompson. That said, the Warriors franchise knows exactly what they're doing. This is the reason they ended up moving on from Klay and still have Wiggins on the roster. After what I'm seeing here, I'm expecting Kerr to start Steph, Pods, Wiggins, Kuminga, and Draymond if he can stay on the floor. After arriving at this conclusion, I actually checked the best 5-man lineups for Golden State. this particular lineup was Steve Kerr's favorite of last season. If these numbers don't sound like Andrew Wiggins is back, I really am not sure what to tell you. With Wiggins returning to his former self, Pods improving and giving the Warriors a better player than the Klay Thompson they've had the past couple of years, Jonathan Kuminga looking ready to hit his stride in year 4, and a robust Draymond Green because, let's be serious, Draymond's game will largely remain unchanged. I think. As will Stephen Curry, so the Warriors might have found the perfect concoction of young player infusion with their two most important championship assets in Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. Now I know some of you want Moses Moody in the lineup, and I do think the Warriors could use him as a 6th man off the bench. Moses Moody could be first off the bench to replace Pods, or Steve Kerr might just say to hell with it. Pods, you can run the second unit, we'll start Moody in at the 2. Either way, the Warriors are looking very good for this upcoming season, and I'm officially off the trade Wiggins bandwagon. This is going to be a dangerous team, and I'm here for it. I do want to check on Draymond, however, to see what we can expect to see from him this season, so make sure you check in for the next video when I discuss what we can expect him to bring to the table. Let me know what you think in the comments. Post your thoughts below. But before that, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all your notifications so you don't miss my next upload on Draymond Green. Thanks for watching. Till next time, swish.